Hi, I'm Jalen Green, and I'm working on my book report about the March of Milwaukee. Um, they are. I'm just gonna read on and um, like on the first paragraph of page 1, and
Go.
so yeah, there are many things I like about my neighborhood, like how peaceful it is, the diversity, though it isn't like this everywhere. When doing this report, I realized that some things changed for some people, and for some people stayed the same. Some people are still fighting for equality. I hope that there I hope that every human is granted equal rights. There was a there was big civil rights issues that were changed. Since the Rosa Parks incident happened, bus segregation stopped. President Johnson signed the voting rights signature May 17th, 1954. Brown versus Board of Education. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that segregation in public was illegal. April 3rd, 1967, school textbooks protest. Milwaukee high school students were protesting because they weren't learning about black history and they wanted new textbooks. June 1967, the Wauwatosa marches. Youth Council NAACP and Father Grappi started to protest in front of the Milwaukee City Council members' homes. March 19th, 1965. The Milwaukee civil rights activists demonstrated in Milwaukee to support Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other protesters in the Selma, Alabama marches. February 1966, Eagles Club protest. The Milwaukee NAACP Youth Council, with Father Grappi, picketed the Eagles Club that was a whites-only club that had many officials as members. October 1966, Youth Council Commandos. Next page. Here's some pictures.
What is this a picture about?
Of this. This is Dr. King's wife and daughter, where they were marching to stop school segregation, and they wanted to stop it now. And this one is just these people, like a lot of people marching with signs, fair housing and stuff, and equality. But it may seem like it's just 3 people, but it's just part of the picture. Next page. Page 2. Okay. The NAACP Youth Council Commandos unit was formed in late 1966 to provide protection for marchers, activists, and Father Grappi. The leaders were Dwight Benning, Dwayne Tolliver, and Prentice McKinney. There were many other marches, sit-ins, and protests for civil rights in Milwaukee and around the country. August 28, 1967, First Housing March, March on Milwaukee. The March on Milwaukee was the first march. A lot of people from NAACP got into groups and grabbed signs that said, "We need fair housing." Father Grappi led the groups. Father Grappi was a Catholic priest. When they started the march, they were coming from 1316 North 15th, from North 15th Street to 16th Street. Most of the white people lived on the south side. More than 8,000 counter-protesters would throw bricks at them. The march continued for 200 consecutive days. The police threw tear gas into the Freedom House and burned it down. When there was a report, there was a sniper inside. August 30th, 1967. Mayor Myers said, "No more marches. There is a curfew." The group's NAACP, when NAACP said, "Okay, we'll just have a..." Wait, no. When the groups got to the house, the police came there, and they arrested 58 of the people in the youth council. Okay.
What does this say about photography?
Pause it.
No, keep going.
Here's a picture of Father Grappi, and he just in a photo shoot, and yeah.
Keep going.
I think this is Father Grappi's wife, the tall one with the muscles.
No, that is not his wife. That's a black lady. Read what you wrote.
Youth Council encouraged the black community and other fair housing supporters to not do Christmas shopping at downtown businesses. November 1967. These protesters are at the burned out Freedom House, encouraging people to help the community get fair housing.
Now, can you correct yourself? Who are these people? Who are these people? They were
Protesters.
Protesters, not who? Not Father Grappi's wife. He's a priest. They don't have wives.
Ow.
Okay, keep going.
March in Milwaukee, page number 3. September 7th, 1967. The NAACP Youth Council counselors vandalized and destroyed Mayor Myers' office because they wanted to see the mayor and because they were agitated. White Power rally starts in September 11th, 1967. The white counter-protesters wanted their own rights. November 15th, 1967. The Black Christmas boycott. The blacks and Latinos, civil rights people, activists didn't go Christmas shopping at many white-owned stores. March 14th, 1968. The 200th March. People who were involved in the march were Vel Phillips, Youth Council Groups, NAACP, Father Grappi, Commandos, and the rest of the people. They all marched for one last time. They marched in the widest neighborhoods. They were doing this even if there wasn't a fair housing law. April 30th, 1968. The Milwaukee Common Council passed a fair housing law. So the blacks, Latinos, Father Grappi, and AACP, and the rest of the people celebrated their success. I think there's more. Here's the White Power rally page drawing. 200 counter-protesters attended a White Power rally at the Humboldt Park. And here's the Black Power fist of the Black Christmas boycott. The Youth Council encouraged the black community and other fair housing supporters to not go Christmas shopping at downtown businesses, November 1967. And these are just presentation notes. And that's it. The end. Okay. My name is Jalen Green. The name of my project is March on Milwaukee. I learned that I did not know the city I live in has so much racism and still does. In the March on Milwaukee events, there was tear gas, arrests, and fighting, which seems crazy to me because there was a whole bunch of stuff going on back then in the city I live now. I learned about Father Grappi, who was a priest and became a leader of the marches. I chose to study this topic because when this topic was given to me as an option, I thought it'd be interesting. I wanted to learn about Milwaukee history and why the city was so segregated. I learned about / research the subject in the following ways. There is an article and other resources in the UWM Archives website. 2. Archives. Number 2. I searched for the found photographs. I found videos of TV news, stories, and interviews that were recorded at the time of the marches. I spoke with my mom and her friend about the March in Milwaukee. They gave me ideas and resources.
Keep going.
It took me about 2 months to put the final project together. I used the following materials: paper, pencils, phone for internet, pens, and markers. My procedure was general overview. First, I looked for photographs of the March in Milwaukee, and I started to draw pictures based on these photos. Then, I watched archive videos and read an article about March in Milwaukee. Then, I took notes on the events of the marches. I lost my notes and drawings a couple times, but then I found them. I began to take pictures of my notes and drawings so I would have them in case they got lost again. Then I wrote the first draft and then 2 more drafts. I read the final draft to my mom for her feedback. Next, I wrote the introductory paragraph. I wrote drafts for captions for my drawings. Then I wrote the final copy of my essay. Then I wrote the captions of the drawings. Then I created the cover. The drawings went well. I liked how they turned out. Some of them were difficult to draw, particularly those with many people in them. The captions were easy to write. The challenges. The writing was a challenge, so was reading the articles and timelines and taking notes. I overcame those challenges. I stuck with the project even though it was tiring. I received help from Carrie, gave me tips on where to do research, gave me links and ideas to how to organize the project. My mom helped me with research, helped to choose photos, helped me get and stay organized. We did initial research together on redlining and other civil rights issues. She encouraged me to do a good job. Miss Hunter was patient and took time with me every day, helped me with the notes, organizing, writing, finding articles, and more. The end.
You want to flip through the book? Or are you backwards? The other way. Just go do another, just walk through and just turn the pages. Wait. Okay. Okay.
Sound like that mean. Okay.